Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening, sir.
Good
Yes.
evening, sir.
Can you hear me
Good
well?
evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir. Sir, I'm from
Okay.
Open University. I'm Naduni. I have called you.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Sir, let me give few minutes to introduce about you, sir.
Exactly.
Okay. Uh, so, uh, so Mr. Anuruddha Lokugamege is a resource person for today's lecture, and he is a visiting lecturer and one of the expert in the field of procurement. So you will get the know many things related to this field. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
So thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So I'm very happy to be here today. Last 2 days I was in Galle. I had a 2 days program, just finished the program at 4:30. Came back to Colombo now. Just I started. I'm very tired, but anyway, I promised to take this session today. So therefore, I decided to do a, presentation regarding the public procurement. Okay, without getting the time, we'll start the session. As said Nadumi, so I'm a retired government officer. I work for SLEAD as a senior consultant in public procurement, and I serve a number of universities these days, especially Jayawardenepura, Moratuwa, and some other universities, local and international. At the same time, so I undertook some lessons from Open University of Sri Lanka. I think that this is the first lecture that I conduct for the master program of the public procurement and logistic management. Before I start the program, just I want to get some idea about the program. So just let me, is this a new program or already, how much time you have already completed this program? So any participant, can you give me a kind of background idea about the current situation up to now? So what you have done, how many modules you have done? So I want to get some idea. Yes.
Well, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My name is Ravi Priya. Indeed,
Yeah.
it's a new intake, new batch rather, and there is one going on, and this is a second batch. So in this, we have started with three modules, and all of which have been completed, like micro and macroeconomic, and then basic account, fundamentals of accounting, and then principles of management. So those three have been completed. And then last week we started with the same topic, which was conducted by different lecturer.
Yeah.
And we were told today you will be taking the lecture. So this is where we are standing right now.
All right. So thank you, Ravi. Thank you very much. Okay. So my topic is especially, so why public procurement, why procurement management is very important economically. So I have a topic to talk about economic dimension of public procurement. Economic dimension. So when we talk about the public procurement, so you can talk in different kind of dimension. Number one is economic dimension. Economic dimension means, so when we do the public procurement, what economic factors to be considered? How this procurement supposed to improve the economic growth, and how this procurement support to improve the GDP of the country. So therefore, economic aspect of public procurement is very important. When we do the procurement, so we want to be careful about the economic dimension. At the same time, so when we do the procurement, it's very important to focus environmental dimension of the public procurement. How our procurement protect the environment? So do we do the environment-friendly procurement or eco-friendly procurement. It's a new trend in the world. And also very important, we want to talk about especially social dimension in the public procurement. How our procurement system ensure the social values. So therefore, how our procurement protect the sometime labor rights, minimum wage rate, and the usage of child labor. So likewise, minimum facilities for the workers. So likewise, when we talk about, and also how our procurement system supposed to, regional development, and how our procurement supposed to improve the women inclusion into the procurement system. So likewise, there are different kind of areas are linked with the public procurement. So therefore, I'm talking about today how public procurement, what is the relationship between the procurements and the development of the country or economic aspect of the procurement. That is very important. It's a major component of the public procurement. Why this is very important? This is very important because of the number of reasons. When you look at the Sri Lankan budget, so nearly 30%, in between 25%, 30% expenditure is a capital expenditure of the national budget. Capital expenditure. Or we can say it's a kind of development expenditure, capital expenditure. The rest of the part is a recurrent expenditure. It's an ongoing expenditure to maintain the, day-to-day works. Those are known as recurrent expenditure. The capital expenditure is the part. It's a very small part, but anyway, it's a very important part of the national budget. So when we look at the recurrent component, it's about the 30% of the total budget. 35% of the recurrent budget. I'm always talking with some statistic. So really, I'm not too much happy to talk about my lessons with PowerPoint. You know why? So last few days, I was in some other countries. I had some procurement program, different countries like Bhutan, Thailand, Timor. So I came last week from Bangkok. We are conducting some lectures there also. They also told me, use less PowerPoint, talk more, talk about the stories, best practices. Share. It's very important to conduct the program as a learning session. So therefore, first day I decided to talk with you rather than using a lot of PowerPoint. So therefore, if you need, you can note down. So later we will discuss one by one. Sometimes we will use PowerPoint as well. So therefore, very important thing, listen to me very careful. Take very important matters into your mind and note down any special matters. As I said, 70% of the national budget is recurrent expenditure. So then when you look at the 70% of the recurrent expenditure, 35% of the recurrent expenditure is government salary. We are maintained the huge government sector, public sector, number of ministries, number of departments, number of organizations that are coming under the ministries. At the same time, because of the number of ministries, number of government entities, the huge government expenditure, especially our payroll is the big challenge to the government sector. Because why? Payroll is coming under the recurrent expenditure, salary. The value of the salary equal to 35% of the recurrent expenditure of the country. It's a big amount. At the same time, we have to maintain the retired government officers, pensioners like me. So when you look at the recurrent budget, nearly 15% to 18%, in between that, say 15%, 15% of the recurrent budget is retirement benefit. We are paying salaries for the officers who served previously, maintaining. So getting together retirement benefits and the salary payroll, 50% of the recurrent expenditure is salary. So it's a committed expenditure. It's not the choice. We are bound to pay that. So therefore, there is no procurement procedure. There is no choice. No need to call for bids. It's committed. We want to pay that. So therefore, we no need to follow any procurement procedure for payment of salaries. That is out of the procurement. Then when you look at the other part, loan interest. Now these days, loan interest component is very less. But in normal scenario, it's also similar to the government salary. Nearly 30 to 35% of the recurrent expenditure, not the capital repayment, it's not the loan repayment, it's the payment of interest. So therefore, getting together, when you look at nearly 80% of the 85% of the budget is loan interest and the government salaries. These days, it can be changed because we do not pay loan, pay back like that. So that loan repayment also, loan interest payment also is the committed expenditure. There is no choice. So we are definitely bound to pay that. So there is no procurement procedure for that. So therefore, except that two parts, other 15% or maybe 20% nearly is other recurrent expenditure. It can be a payment of electricity bill, water bill, rent, fuel, maintenance of vehicles, and there are some other recurrent expenditure. Some of them we are getting from the single source because only monopoly. So we are getting the electricity from the CEB. But when we purchase the stationaries and other things, we are calling for bids. Whatever the procurement method we follow, it can be a single source, it can be a direct procurement, it can be a limited competitive biddings, it can be a international competitive biddings, it can be a national competitive biddings, whatever the procurement method is there. So therefore, nearly 20 or 15% of the recurrent expenditure disbursed through a procurement procedure. Then when you look at the capital component, that capital expenditure totally be disbursed through a procurement procedure. Therefore, you can see the value of the procurement against the national budget, nearly 45% of the 35 to 45% of the national budget disbursed through a procurement system. So when you look at our national budget last year, it's about 5,300 billion LKR rupees. So therefore, when we look at 35% of the 500 billion, 5,000 billions, it's a big amount. It's a big amount. So therefore, we are disbursing the huge money allocated on the national budget through a procurement procedure, except some committed expenditure. So therefore, learning about the procurement, using those funds more effectively, efficiently is very important for the country. So therefore, very important, use those funds in meaningful manner. Therefore, procurement is very important for the country in economic perspectives. And when you look at the national budget always talk about the department and ministries. But there are some other government organizations. For example, state government, provincial council. That provincial council funds are not coming under the national budget. And also there are a lot of local authorities, municipal council, then urban council, and the Pradeshia Sabhas, those are also a small government. They have their own budget. These budget figures are not coming under national budget. Remember, that is very important. And there are a lot of SOEs, maybe state-owned enterprises, like Petroleum Corporation, Water Supply and Drainage Board, Sri Lankan Airlines, CEB, and so on, Litrogas, Lanka Hospital. There are a lot of state-owned enterprises. Their budgetary figures are not coming under the national budget. So therefore, no point of comparing value of the procurement with the national budget. There are a lot of national figures that are under national budget. So national budget will consist of only department and ministries. So therefore, if we talk about the value of the procurement of the country based on the national, budget, it's misleading information. Therefore, what is necessary? Most of the countries, they compare their country and the procurement against the GDP. Now, when you look at the GDP, nearly in Sri Lanka, 18 to 20% of the GDP equal to the value of the procurement. So if the GDP is 100 million, 20 million equal to the procurement of the country. It's include all the procurement, not only the department and ministries. It's different country to country. In India also same amount, similar amount, 20% of the national GDP equal to the procurement. In Thailand, in Malaysia, about 17.5. In Japan, 16% of the GDP. It doesn't mean we are better than them. No, it says our public sector is very big. There are a number of government-owned enterprises. That's why the figure is very high. So therefore, our GDP is nearly 85 billions of USDs. Then 85 billions into 0.220% means it's a huge amount. Therefore, you can see the gravity of the value of the procurement in the country. So therefore, if we do not use these funds more effectively, efficiently, ultimately, you will not see the results what we expect. So therefore, how much money you allocated is not the matter. How much money you spend is not the matter. How fast you finish the money is not the matter. The matter is whether we are using those funds more economical manner for meaningful purpose. That is what we expect from the public procurement. So therefore, public procurement is very important. What? To accelerate the economic development. For that, what is necessary? We want to spend these funds highly focusing the outcome of the government expenditure. So we want to spend those money, especially based on the economic priorities. So we want to spend those funds to settle the burden issues of the country. We want to spend those money to uplift the living standards of the poor people. We want to spend those funds to minimize the gap between the rural and urban. So likewise, very important. So therefore, public procurement is very important. It's a kind of capitalization of public funds. Even though your financial statement says we spend this much of capital expenditure, this will not become a capitalized if you do not spend these funds for effective projects. Then you will finish the money. you will finish the money for idle investment. So therefore, how much project is not the matter. The meaningful project is the important things. Even plenty of money is enough if you are using those funds for the very useful purposes. Otherwise, what will happen? We are finishing the money. We have something to show. We have something to talk, but nothing happened to the country. So therefore, procurement is a subject that converts expenditure into investment. It doesn't mean purchasing. It's beyond the purchasing. It doesn't mean construction. It's beyond the construction. It's an investment. Therefore, development of the country is depend on the development of the procurement system of the country. That's why in the world, there are huge demand for the public procurement and the procurement management. Even private sector also. Even private sector also. Even state-owned enterprises. Even pure government. Procurement management is very important for the organization, for the country, to maximization of value of the organization, to maximization of the profit of the organization, to improve the development of the country, to uplift the living standards of the people, to uplift the quality of the life of the people. Otherwise, you will spend money, nothing happen. So therefore, in brief, what I want to say you, public procurement, even private sector procurement is more important to improve the government, improve the organization. So this is the number one point, why public procurement is very important for the country. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So is it necessary to explain little in Sinhala? So I don't know whether this program is conducted completely in English or Sinhala or bilingual. I don't know. Just tell me. I think there are some participants, maybe they are not comfortable with some time language.
100% English, sir.
Program, this is the sorry?
It's 100% English, sir. English.
All right. So then I will conduct completely in English. All right. Okay. Now we have why this is very important. Now, how this economic advantages can be taken, can achieve through procurement system. So when you look at any procurement system, so then I will share blank sheet. So then what is necessary? Very important. When we talk about the procurement, so procurement is not the purchasing. Procurement is not the purchasing. Procurement is not the purchasing. It is a kind of acquisition. Acquisition of what? Acquisition of goods, service. So I will. So I have PowerPoint, but first day I decided to talk with you. I'm tired, not easy, but anyway, we'll talk something. Then later we will move to the PowerPoint or anything, right? So then I will share. So it's an acquisition process. It's an acquisition process. What we acquire in public sector, we acquire goods, we acquire service, we acquire works, and we acquire consultancy. Those are the things we acquire. So when we talk about the procurement, the traditional word we use, tender procedure, tender. So in case of in public sector, when we take anything, we say you want to follow the tender procedure. Until 2006, we use the word tender. So when we talk about the tender highly focus two areas. One is acquisition. So when you acquire anything to the public sector, anything to the state-owned enterprises, so you followed the tender procedure. Acquisition of goods, acquisition of services, acquisition of works, acquisition of consultancy services. Yes, we use the word tender procedure. At the same time, we use the tender procedure not only for the acquisition, even disposal. Sometime in your organization, you may have unserviceable equipment, unserviceable vehicle, scrap item, salvage item. So you cannot use. No point of keeping them with you. You want to remove from your organization. So then we want to dispose. For that also, we want to select the right method, right person. In case of acquisition, we select the best price. Best price means reasonable price, competitive price. It can be a low, least cost. In case of disposal, so there are also reasonable price. The reasonable price means not the low, it's the higher price. So therefore, we are having two opposite objectives. In case of acquisition, we talk about the least price, best price. Best price means at low price or reasonable cost. Even disposal, it doesn't mean low, it's the highest reasonable price. This is acquisition, least reasonable price. So therefore, for disposal, or sometime you will rent out something. Rent out. So you will rent out government-owned building we have. Sometime we want to rent out for the cafeteria, or excess premises we can give it to the bank or some other business purposes. Especially local authorities, they are renting out a lot of government-owned properties, vehicle park, sometime washroom located in the urban area. Now we are outsourcing building. At that time also we followed the tender procedure. So therefore, when we talk about the tender highly talk about the two areas. One is acquisition part, other one is disposal part. Getting together, we say it's a tender procedure. What happened in 2006, government got the decision to separate these two disciplines, two subjects, these areas into two separate disciplines. Then acquisition part is a one part, other part is disposal part. Then this acquisition part we name as a procurement. There is no tender procedure today for acquisition purposes. We are having a procurement procedure. Therefore, no tender documents. We are having a bidding document. No tender notice. We are having an invitation for bids. No tender board. We are having a procurement committee. No tender security. We are having a bid security. No any other tender related words, only procurement. Therefore, we are talking about the procurement. The difference between the tender and the procurement is when we talk about the tender, it focuses 3 areas: acquisition and the disposal. Therefore, when we talk about the procurement, it will discuss only the acquisition part. Therefore, procurement means what? It's an acquisition process. Acquisition process. It is a process of what? Selecting. Process of selecting. Who? Substantially responsive bidder. Substantially responsive bidder. Substantially responsive bidder. At best price. Substantially responsive bidder. Substantially responsive bidder. Substantially responsive bidder. Substantially responsive bidder. So therefore, when we talk about the economic aspect, how we do this process to get the maximum benefits to the country. Then if you want to get the maximum economic benefits to the country, whether you are following the right process of acquisition. The right process of acquisition is very important. So therefore, procurement means only the acquisition process. Acquisition of goods or service or works or consultancy. Therefore, you will get the economic advantages according to the way of doing. How do you do it? So therefore, to get economic advantages to the country through public procurement. So your procurement process should be highly focused, main principle of public procurement. Then only you will get the advantages. So number one, what is necessary to get the economic advantages to the country by doing the, public procurement. Number one is what? We want to think about the value for money. It's not the value of money. Value for money means what? Whether do we spend public funds for the meaningful investment? Meaningful investment. If the value for money is there, then you will see main 6 areas in the system. Number one is economy. Economy. Later I will tell you. Then to get the value for money, you want to see the effectiveness. Effectiveness. To get the value for money, then very important, efficiency. Efficiency is very important. To get the value for money, you want to do your procurement in eco-friendly. Eco-friendly. To get the value for money, you want to think about the equity. Equity. Later I will tell you how to do that. To get the value for money, you want to basically think about the ethics. We want to do the ethically right procurement. Therefore, if your procurement system highly focus these 6 areas, then only your investment will become economically friendly, meaningful investment to the country. Otherwise, you will not see the economic benefits because of this procurement. Therefore, what is necessary? Very important, before we do the public procurement or any procurement, we want to mainly think about whether these key requirements are available in our procurement system. Do we consider the economy? Do we consider the effectiveness? Do we consider the efficiency, eco-friendliness, equity, ethics? That is very important. All those words are started. First letter is E. So therefore, that is we known as 6 E's. Therefore, when we do any procurement, if you want to see the economic benefits to the country, economic benefits to the society, you want to see and check whether these 6 E's are available in the procurement system. Is it clear?
It's clear, sir.
Yes. Otherwise, there is no economic benefits to the country. It become adverse effect to the economy, negative effect to the economy. Even though a lot of projects are going on, even though projects are available throughout the country, people are having a lot of difficulties. People are having difficulties. They will not see comfortable, environment, even though government spend more money for lot of development project. Once again, it will become a adverse effect to the citizen people. No economic advantages, only very little. Therefore, what is necessary? Before we do the procurement, it can be a purchase of a computer to your organization. Yes. It doesn't mean large-scale investment. National level expenditure. Sectorial expenditure. Sectorial expenditure means agriculture sector, fisheries sector, tourism sector, industrial sector, education sector, health sector. Even that sector will not improve. Even though we purchase huge pharmaceutical item, medical equipment, biomedical item for the health sector, if you are not using useful quality products, it will not affect the poor people, citizen. But you can say, we constructed this much of this kind of building, we purchased this kind of machine, we purchased huge drugs, medicine, biomedical item, pharmaceutical items. But people will not feel free the healthy life, healthy situation. So therefore, how much money you spend is not the matter. It doesn't matter. But people are talking about, we did like this, we did like this, we purchased like this. During last year, we spent this much of money. In our duration, we conduct, develop this kind of projects. But if you cannot see the return on investment, is still not capitalize this expenditure, it is a burden to the society. That's why I'm telling. That's why I'm telling. Procurement is very important to improve the living standards of the people. Procurement is very important to improve the quality of the life. Procurement is very important to improve the happiness of the citizen. Otherwise, people will suffer. Then economy means what? Economy means Do we do this procurement at best price? Best price. Sometimes some procurement we can say, you have seen 3-4 times higher than the international price. I have seen lot of articles. Some medicine in the international market 200 rupees, but in Sri Lanka we purchase at 2,500, something like that. Yes, even some projects. So when we compare to the international prices, when we compare to the, last year expenditure, sometimes we are spending huge money. Huge money. So procurement is very important to get the competitive price. Competitive price. Then we want to make a competition among the suppliers. It should be a fair competition. Which competition? Please.
Fair competition.
Yes, not just competition, fair competition. It should be a genuine competition. It should not be a artificial competition. Then only you will get the competitive advantages. Sometimes 3 quotations are available. When we compare to the 3 quotation, you will purchase the low price. But it is not the genuine low price. Because others' prices are very high. That quotation also are given by myself. I got one quotation from one of my friends, another quotation from another friends. Then they say how much, what should be the value I want to put in my UI quotation. So then I said, you better to put 1 unit is 1,000. You better to put the 1 unit as a 1,200. Then I can put 1,200. You will see, you purchase at low price, but it's not the genuine low price. Therefore, what is necessary? In public procurement, we want to think about fair competition. Sadharana Tarangiya, fair competition. If the fair competition is available, you can reduce the price lot. If you cannot see the fair competition in the country, in the market, it's an artificial competition. Therefore, procurement is very important to maintain the fair competition. Through fair competition, you can get at fair price, at reasonable cost, at least cost. Therefore, you will get a lot of advantages. Therefore, to see the value for money in public procurement, very important. Economy. Do we procure the product, goods at best price? That is what we say economy. In case of construction project, do we do this project at reasonable estimated cost, at fair price? Otherwise, you will not get the value for money. Therefore, to get the value for money through procurement, what is necessary? We want to think about the economy. How do you get the economy? You will get the economy through genuine competition. Without following competitive bidding process, if you give any contract to the Chinese contractor or Indian contractor or anyone else, if you are following the unsolicited bidding system, if you award the contract getting a cabinet decision without following the competitive bidding, how do you ensure the economy in the procurement system? Therefore, to get the value for money, very important what? Economy. economy. Then effectiveness. Effectiveness means what? Effectiveness. Even though do you do at reasonable cost, if you are not selecting the right project, if you are not purchasing the right requirement to the organization, you will not get the effectiveness. When you look at the national accounts in the country, when you look at financial statements of the government organization, December and the November is the month we spend huge money in the public sector. December and the November is the month we purchase a lot of tabs, lot of laptops, computers. December is the month we conduct a lot of training program. Why? At the end of the year, we are having a lot of unutilized funds. We purchase whatever the things we need. We ask him, do you need another laptop? Huh? Shall we conduct the wonderful training program, booking a wonderful hotel? You can finish, but effectiveness is very less. So effectiveness means real outcome of the expenditure. It's not something finishing of money. Then to get the effectiveness, what is necessary? Very important. Before we start the project, we want to do the cost-benefit analysis. Cost-benefit analysis. Before we start the project, we want to do the cost-benefit analysis, CBS. What is the return of the investment? What is the cost of the investment? Without knowing return and the cost, we start the project. We start the project without the potential market. Then after start the project, no demand. Still, we did not finalize what to do for this project. Initially, we did not decide for what purposes we are doing this investment. No cost-benefit analysis. No economic impact assessment. No social impact assessment. We do not care about the return on investment. We think construction is a development. No, not at all. Not at all. Even though we are having a mega project, that's why we don't have a result. Without doing cost-benefit analysis, without doing environmental impact assessment, without doing the feasibility studies, starting project is meaningless, pointless. Then in procurement system, very important. That's why I said it's not just purchasing. It's beyond the purchasing. Effectiveness is very important. Effectiveness is very important. Later we will discuss in detail these words. Then efficiency means if you are efficient, you will do whatever the things on time. You will do whatever the task on time because you are an efficient person. If you are an efficient person, you will do that project or whatever the things in quality manner. That is what efficient. Even though we purchase, say, fertilizer, if we cannot distribute these fertilizers among the farmers on time, what is the meaning of giving fertilizers? If we cannot give the textbooks when we start the schools at the first term, what is the meaning of that? Efficiently means what? Do we provide the service on time, in quality, in right manner? This is very important. Even though price is economically favorable, if you do not provide efficiently, for example, say during the COVID season, if we were not able to give a vaccine on time, no efficient, but they gave efficiently. So therefore, efficiently means on-time delivery, on time, in quality manner, without quality failures. That is very important. Without having an overstock. That is very important. Then eco-friendly. That is also very important. What kind of environment side effects occurred because of the procurement? How we can minimize them? That is also very important. Then equity. Equity means when we start the project, if we start the project, all the project in one district, all the project in one province, the projects are available. Unfortunately, all the project we start in one district, in one province. How we can see the equity? If we give all the contract to the one contractor or 2, 3 contractors, rather than selecting different contractors, how we can see the equity? Therefore, when we select the contract, when we select the bidder, do we consider the equity? Whether we are giving the opportunities to others? When we start project, do we start this project throughout the countries? Then only you will ensure the equity. So therefore, that is also very important. Development of a district is not the requirement. It's very important to balance development. Balanced development is more important than the development. Development in the urban sector, development in the rural sector, development in the particular district, development in the other districts. Equity. Ethics. Ethics means when we do the procurement, we want to think about the ethically right procurement. No discrimination. We are not giving our contract to the family members. We do not abuse our powers and authority. We do not do ill treatments. We do not care about the private interest. So we highly concerned about the public interest or national interest. Our acquisition process, in case of land acquisition, our acquisition process is very ethically right. We do not escape the poor people and next day we do not start. We are following the right acquisition process. We are giving the compensation. We are providing resettlement facilities for them. Then we clear the land and we start the building and the project, rather than overnight escaping them without knowing their grievances. If we start the project, it is ethically wrong investment. Wrong. Some people say he did overnight. See, we need that kind of leaders. We need this kind of people. Overnight, they escape the poor people, slums, and the shanties, demolish. There is no shanties in that place. Now you can see the foundation, very nice. He's a wonderful leader. No, it's not right. When we do anything, there is a way of doing. Do it in ethically right manner. Then only you will see what? Value for money. Value for money. This is what we expect in public procurement as the key objectives of the public procurement. That's the key objectives of the public procurement. One of the key objectives. Otherwise, you will not see the changes in the economy. You will not see the economic development. You will not see the balanced development. You will not see the improvements of the living standards of the people. You will not see the quality of the life of the people. Very important. When we do the procurement, do we consider the value for money? It's not the word. That's why in the world, when you look at any procurement guideline in the world, the first page, they will explain more about the value for money. That is very important. Therefore, how public procurement improve the economic perspectives? Yes, can anyone tell me? Now talk by myself. Yes. Can you give a 5-minute rest for me? I mean, explain what you learn. Yes. I'm asking from next day. Definitely, I do this as an activity. I mean, interactive session, not the lectures. Getting your ideas, doing activities, lot of. Even though this is online, I can do a lot of activities, group work. So this is how we want to do. Right. Okay. I'm asking from Ganga. So what you can say something about matters what we discuss? What is the, meaning of this value for money? How this is value for money improve the economy through the procurement system? Yes, can anyone voluntarily?
Yes, so in a nutshell, I can say, without explaining.
Yeah, I'm very happy because of the first day. Can you tell me your name and where are you working?
Ravi Priya.
Yeah, Ravi, where are you working?
I'm the CEO of the Chartered Institute of Taxation.
All right, very nice.
Well,
do you agree with my opinion?
Yes, of course. I've seen how public money is being used effectively to uplift the standard of the people required. So, whatever you explain in detail, I can say in a nutshell, uh, value for money is that you get the thing, get this procurement done in an effective way to fulfill the requirement of the society and without harming their peaceful life and also achieving the standard of their life.
Mm. Exactly. So anyone can add something? All right, okay. So then now you have one point. So one point, how public procurement support to develop the economy. You can develop the economy, improving value for money. That is the point. Point number one. Point number one. Very important. Then number two, how our procurement system supposed to development of local industries. So very important. How our procurement system supposed to develop the local industries? That is very important. When we call for bids, do we give any priorities for the local people? Even though local contractors are available, when we invite to the foreign contractors, what they are doing? We are improving the capacity of them. We are giving our money to them. Sometimes they are getting the contract. The next day they are giving the subcontract to the local people. Leisurely they are getting the margin. Therefore, to develop the countries as much as possible, you want to think about, you want to protect our local contractors. You want to encourage local investors. In Malaysia, I'm doing lectures, so they highly concerned about the Bhumiputra concept. In Malaysia, Bhumiputra concept means when government award the contract, give them to the original people. In India, there is a concept, be Indian, buy Indian concept. So likewise, so we want to give priorities to our local people. When we purchase product, very important, give priority for the local product. We have a lot of local products. So therefore, we want to think what provisions are available in our procurement system to give the contract or supplies to the local people. Then we want to think about whether the provisions are available in our procurement system for domestic preferences. What is the word?
Domestic preferences.
Domestic preferences.
Preferences. So then we want to identify what are the domestic products. When we develop bidding document, any provisions are available about the domestic preferences. Even though local prices are higher, it doesn't matter. We are giving a 20% of the domestic preferences to improve the local industries. And also we want to see genuinely, is this domestic? Sometimes some people, I know I don't like to highlight, they import goods, they say domestic. Why they put a here, there, it's made in Sri Lanka. But 100% produced in China, even China factory put the label as made in Sri Lanka. Even though label is made in Sri Lanka, it will not become a domestic. Do we have a tracking system? What is the value addition to the product? Is it really domestic? Is it really domestic investor? Even though investor is domestic, is it really domestic product? So likewise, there should be preferences for domestic. And also, development of local industries means not only the local means Sri Lanka, even regional level. How small industries can come to the competitive bidding process. Sometimes they cannot, small industries, they cannot compete with the mega contractors and the mega suppliers, large scale suppliers. They cannot compete. But those are infant industries. They cannot come to the system. So therefore, do we give priorities for regional preferences? Small industries. So that is very important. How we can get the small industries, SME sector into public procurement. Always you are talking about the high level suppliers, mega investors. No, that is very important. Do we have a provision in our bidding document? What provisions are available to improve, especially regional preferences? Regional preferences. I'm sorry, my internet line was disconnected. So can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm sorry. It is disconnected. Please, I don't know whether host is available now. I cannot share the screen. Please, if any admin is there, host is there, please allow me to share my document. So I want to get a small break. Even you also, maybe tired after office. Oh, so then let us have a 15-minute break.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Please, if the host is there, please allow me to share my screen.
Ms. Lakshmi De Silva, you may have to shift the host from you to sir.
Hi, I'm logging my phone. So how I share the host? No. Hello.
When you go to more, can you see the more button?
Wait.
Click it, then you get more.
No. I think better I leave and log in again.
No, once you leave, all of us will be disconnected.
Okay. Wait.
You go to the participants list, then over there
Okay.
you are seen as the host, right? From there you click change host.
It seems raise hand and rename. That's all.
Or otherwise, you can leave the meeting and reconnect.
Okay. Uh,
Ravipriya, you are the host now.
Hello, Mr. Ravi Priya. Hello.
I'm extremely sorry, sir. I couldn't share. I couldn't change the host. That's why I leave the meeting. I think now the host is Mr. Ravi Priya.
Maybe Mr. Ravi Priya on a break now. He
Yeah,
taken the 15 minutes
15
break.
minutes break, I think. Yes.
Yes.
No, it was changed to sir now.
I did it now.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Break is start now or it will take some time?
We can take now, right? Because sir said 15 minutes.
Okay, okay. So we will join after 10 minutes.
Okay, shall we start? So I'm sorry. Can I have the can anyone test me the contact number of the host? So there are some internet problem today here in in this area. Can anyone type in the chat box? Then I will call her. So one still I cannot share. So do you have a contact number of the host? Host mean organizer. Who? Please. I don't know
I
why
think
some
Miss
internet.
Yumika is the host.
Can you type? Do you have a contact number?
Oh, wait, sir.
So are you referring to Miss Naduni who started the session?
Maybe I don't know who is the. Host means the system is who manage the
Coordinating from the university side.
yeah the system.
Okay, I will.
So because of the first day, I don't have a contact number. Or you can give a call also. Okay. I will give a call to Nadine.
Miss Pumika is here. She is the host now. She is the host.
I tried to contact her, but she is not answering.
Miss Pumika,
I tried to contact her, but she is not answering.
Yes, me at also. I called her, but she's not answering the phone.
So next day, so definitely I will find another, internet line. So I don't know why normally I do this. These days, there are some problem in some Pumika. Okay, I will contact.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
I can hear you.
Yeah. I'm trying to change the host.
Yes, I cannot share. Still cannot share.
Pumika, if you cannot just disconnect your internet, so it will go to another person, the host.
Yes. That's good. Yeah, still no.
Done.
Now it's okay. Please, I think better to get the host. Right, okay, we'll start. So there's a network problem here I'm in Kot Tower in town area, but I don't know why. Anyway, it's okay. Now problem is settled. Right, so I told you what is necessary to have a economic development through procurement. So very important, we want to think about the development of local industries. So for that, in our procurement system, we want to check whether the domestic preferences are available. Domestic preferences means whether any preferences are available in the procurement guideline. Yes, there are. Do we apply? Do we apply? Hello? Oh, now it's okay. So I had a problem regarding the hosting. So sharing the slides. Now it's okay. Okay, right. So therefore, in our procurement guideline, there are some provision for domestic preferences. Even though preferences are available in the guideline and manual, very important, when we call for bids, we want to include that provisions in our bidding document. It is very important. Regional preferences, domestic preferences, and some other countries, they are highly concerned about the SME sector. How SME sector can be improved through public procurement, how we give opportunities to come to the government bidding process. So small people, so sometimes SME sector business, they don't have a capacity. They sometimes, so whatever the things we are asking, bank guarantee, bid securities, there are a lot of requirement we are asking. Sometimes small industries, they are not having. Sometimes they don't have a capacity. They don't know the government bidding process. So therefore, we want to aware them. Even you are also having opportunities to submit your proposal. That kind of requirement is very important. Then through that way, we can develop economy. So therefore, public procurement supposed to develop the, what do you call that, local industries. Through procurement, we can do. And also very important, when we talk about the procurement, the economic development is depend on the how we apply the procurement system. Means like this, very important. So when we look at the entire procurement process, these two areas is very important. Then other one is, you can see, development of local industries. Then very important, development of, or we can say improvement, but better to use the improvement of public accountability and transparency. That is also very important. To develop the economy, very important, we want to improve the accountability and the transparency in the procurement system. Our procurement system should be well transparent. Our procurement system should be accountable. What do you mean by accountability? Anyone can? How do you realize the meaning of the accountability? Yes, anyone can? Accountability. It's the most popular word in the world today. Accountability, transparency. It's a main two principles of good governance as well. The people are talking about the be accountable government, be accountable politician, be accountable head of the organization. Accountability, even transparency. Even though procurement system is available, if the procurement system is not transparent, if the procurement system doesn't focus accountability, we will not see the development in the country through procurement. My question is, what do you mean by accountability in public procurement?
Taking responsible for our actions.
No, not the responsibility. Accountability means not the responsibility.
Quality of being accountable, or the
not really.
Sir, this is when we are doing the procurement progress, how the procurement process is going on. So it will be, we have to explain to the people how it's done like this.
Up to
Being
certain level.
answerable.
60% okay.
Your obligation to the society.
Yes, up to certain level, correct.
Being answerable.
Exactly. So especially when the procurement system is accountable, so you must be able to see like this. I'm talking about the accountability. Accountability is a kind of answerability. We are answerable for two areas. When we do the procurement, we are answerable for two areas. You are answerable for the process. That is process accountability. We are answerable for the process. You want to follow the right procurement process. If you are answerable to the process, it is your responsibility. You are answerable to the results, end result. Then accountability. Then accountability means how do you handle your authority and resources. Accountability means how do you handle your authority. Therefore, when we talk about the accountability, there are two important words are coming linked with the accountability. What are those two words?
Answerable for the process.
Number one is under accountability, very important, authority. Authority. Number two is resources. Resources. Authority means since you are a CEO, you have authority. Since you are a president, you have authority. Since I'm a doctor, I have professional authority. Others cannot challenge. Others are patient. I'm a doctor. I'm a specialist. Others are ordinary people. How do you challenge to my opinion? I'm an engineer. How do you say, as an ordinary person, this design is wrong? How do you say this BOQ is wrong? Are you an engineer? You are an ordinary person. So likewise, because of the profession or sometimes because of the hierarchy, so you are having authority. At the same time, in your organization, you are having a resources. It can be a financial resources. It can be a human resources. Or it can be any other physical resources. Resources are there. If you are accountable, how do you use this authority and resources? You want to use authority and resources for what? For achieving public interest. Public interest. You want to use these resources, this authority for what? For achieving public interest. Public interest. Public interest. Or we can say it's a kind of national interest. Better word is public interest. Do you use your authority for achieving public interest? When you select the project using your authority, do you select this project by focusing the end users, people? Or sometimes you can purchase a machine for the organization because your brother-in-law is doing a business selling the same products. He is always saying, dear brother, these days I'm having very poor business. I don't have business. So I don't know how to run my business. Can you help me? So how can I help you? Can you purchase few items to your organization and ask your friends? There are a number of organizations, purchase this kind of machine to their organization. Give me a support. Then is it public interest? Is it public interest?
This is
Yes or
personal
no?
interest, sir.
That is personal interest. Then most of the organization, they are doing procurement by focusing the private interest. Sometimes I'm giving more priority to construct the building because at the end of the road, so there is bare land belongs to me. If we are able to construct the road, the market price of the land will increase. So that's why, as a person attached to the road development authority, I always concerned about this road, not the other roads. Because why? If we can use my authority to construct this road, so definitely I have. So likewise, if I'm in a position to bring all the project into my district, next day when what do you call represent next election, I can get more votes if all the project bring to my district. People will say, he is a good politician. He is the only person did something to my village. So therefore, definitely we want to vote for him. Is it public interest or private interest?
It is private interest.
Private interest.
Because
So
there is no
therefore,
any analysis.
Exactly. So therefore, if you use your authority, if you use your resources for achieving private interest instead of public interest, sometimes I give more priorities because this is my school. I studied from that school. Now I am one of the key person of the Ministry of Education, just as you. So therefore, I give priority for my school. Then they will invite you as an old boy. They ask them to open. So likewise, I am using my interest to my school, my village, my relatives. So then private interest will become more powerful. Then when I give a contract, so there are some people, they supported to me when I was a hard season, very tough area. At that time, he gave full support to me. So therefore, I want to give some contract to them. It's a private interest. So therefore, if any person give priority for the private interest instead of public interest, then there you will see abuse of powers. Abuse of powers. Abuse of powers means what? Converting public interest to private interest due to personal attachment. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Likewise, I allocated resources also because of my personal attachment. Really, people are asking this project, but I'm not going to give this project to their. So then any country, when they do the procurement, if they give more priorities for the private interest instead of public interest, even though you do lot of procurement, ultimate results to the economy is very less. Very less. Because why? Because of the private interest. Private interest always create the abuse of powers. Abuse of powers. Ultimately, process can be right, end result is not right. It's idling sometime. Even process also wrong sometime. Therefore, we will not see the economic effect, even though we spend, even though we select the project. No, it's a conflict of interest. It's a conflict between the two interests. So therefore, what is necessary to have economic development through public procurement? We want to maintain the public accountability. For that, we want to see the accountable politician, number one. We want to see the accountable president. We want to see the accountable head of the organization. We want to see the accountable secretaries. We want to see the accountable, maybe accountable government officers. At the end, we want to see the accountable mothers, accountable fathers. Until you go to the home. Accountable, not the responsible. So it is very important for the development of the country. Other countries, developed countries, they highly concerned about the accountability. Accountability. So that's why other countries, they are saying they want to see the accountability in the country. Accountability. If the accountability is there, always take the decision by focusing the public interest. So we are not giving the contract to the interest people, our family members. We are not giving, starting the project, all the project in my area. That is very important. Resources, authority. Therefore, accountability means answerability. Use the authority and resources for achieving the public interest instead of private interest. This is the real meaning of the accountability. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Then other one is transparency. Transparency means what? Can see the inside of the process. Can see the inside of the process. So therefore, our procurement system should be transparent. How we can ensure the transparency in the procurement system? Always we prepare a realistic estimate. Realistic estimate. Our BOQ is realistic. It's not the overestimated. Reasonable cost is there. Then when we look at the BOQ, when we look at the cost estimate, we can say, this is good. Transparency. Always we try to apply the competitive bidding process. It can be a national competitive biddings. It can be an international competitive biddings. Rather than selecting a contract, rather than giving the contract for the predefined contractor or supplier. Transparency. When we call for bids, we never use the supplier's specification as it is. We generalize up to certain level of specification to give a chance to other manufacturers also. We never use the brand name for calling for bids. Likewise, we open the bid in the presence of the bidders. We are always using the standard bidding documents. We always try to conduct the pre-bid conference to ask any question. We always appoint the technically qualified people for TEC. We always take the decision collectively through committees. We are always giving a chance for appealing. Disqualified bidders also, they can ask the reason for, they can challenge to our decision. So in different ways, you can maintain the transparency in the system. Then having transparent procurement system for the country is very important. Then only you will see results in the procurement system. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Then other one is innovative procurement. Innovative procurement. So other countries, they are highly concerned about the innovative procurement. We are moving from traditional procurement. We are moving to the innovative procurement. I had 2 programs for innovative procurement. I did one program 6 months back for Japan and South Korea about the innovative procurement. So no such a subject in Sri Lanka also. Innovative public procurement. Innovative. Always be an innovative person. Think about the new system rather than always following traditional method. Tradition, it doesn't mean forget about the traditional. No. Trying to adapt to the dynamic environment. Do your procurement by focusing change in culture. Do your procurement considering change in environment, rapidly changing environment. Environment and everything being changed very rapidly. But our procurement system and everything is still lagging. Innovative procurement. Under the innovative procurement, very important. What? Online procurement. Online procurement or web-based procurement or procurement based on the IT interface. In India, all the procurements are online. If the value of the procurement is more than 25,000 Indian dollars, so they want to use GEM portal. GEM portal means government e-marketing. GEM portal. So in case of high value procurement, they want to use the gov.procurement.gov.lk portal. They have number of procurement portal. Even Bangladesh also, because of the crisis, so some problems over there. Very rapidly, they changed their procurement system into online procurement. Then human involvement is very less. Unnecessary work in non-value added activities are minimizing, eliminate. Unnecessary paper waste, cost, eliminating. Transparency can be entrusted. Yes, through online procurement. That is very important. Online procurement, innovative online procurement. Likewise, there are a number of innovative methods introduced in the online procurement system. And solution-based procurement. Other countries, they are talking about the solution-based procurement. Now in Sri Lanka, we are talking about the vehicle. We are trying to procure the vehicle, but other countries, they are trying to procure the transport service. They are not talking about the vehicle. Vehicle is an object that provides that service. Think about the service, not the object. We are talking about the photocopy machine. Other countries are calling for bids to provide the photocopier service. We are talking about in hospital, laboratory equipment. Other countries are talking about the procurement of laboratory service. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So accumulation of asset is not the procurement. How your procurement system address to the problem is very important. Traditional procurement is accumulation of asset. It is a kind of acquisition. Now today, problem solving solution is a procurement. Then you want to think, what is better to go for hiring? What is better to go for outsourcing? Even hospital, some hospital I know, earlier they purchased the wheelchairs. They recruited the people to pull the wheelchairs. Now they call for bids for wheelchair service. They don't need to worry about the wheelchair and the people to pull the wheelchairs. Service. Service. So that's why we are saying go for outsourcing. Outsourcing is very important. Why we accumulate the asset? Why we are getting the unnecessary equipment and machine to the organization? Building, whatever the thing. Outsourcing. That is what we say gig economic practices. Other countries, they say gig economy, GIG. Gig economic practices. Think about how to give a better service without procuring the asset. Assets are not always necessary to provide the good service. For example, world largest rent-a-car company doesn't have a vehicle. That is Uber. But they are having a good system. But Uber doesn't have vehicles. But they are the world best largest transport service provider. Airbnb, they are the world largest hotel reservation company, but they don't have any hotel. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Think new. Therefore, what is necessary? Very important. You want to identify new procurement methods, systems to address the current issues in the country. Moving from traditional procurement method, even specification. When we prepare a specification, we want to prepare outcome-based specification, not the input-based specification. Likewise, we want to change everything. If you want to Once again, same problem happened. So, okay, I will talk, you can note down. So can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Annie, I'm sorry. So, but anyway, I don't like to disturb to her. So once again, so there is a problem today, network problem, I don't know. So
No,
next day I will.
no, you were made host again, so.
Okay. Thank you. Right. So nothing to do, it's beyond my control. Right. Okay, innovative procurement. Some people see when we do the procurement in right manner, we can make changes. No. Procurement will over after sign the contract. After sign the contract. After sign the contract, there is no procurement. Therefore, after sign the contract, we are having contract management, not the procurement. Even though you follow the right procurement system, even though you select the best innovative method, if the contract management part is very weak or poor, you will not achieve the benefits to the economy. Therefore, you will purchase a very good machine, but you are not using this machine. You are not using this machine. Sometimes you selected the best contractor, but according to the agreement, he want to complete the contract within 1 year period. But now 2 years, he failed to complete the contract within the given period. Therefore, a lot of losses in procurement occurred due to poor contract management. Even though we follow the good procurement system, even though we select the right bidder, after signing the contractor is there, we are here, there is no supervision, no progress review, no site visit, no quality audit, nothing happened. Therefore, you never believe huge losses to the country because of the time extension. Most of the large-scale project, the contractor failed to complete the contract on time. Sometimes 1 year extension, 2 year extension. Sometimes this product is not necessary. So because of the delays. Sometimes I have seen the building construction is going on. At the same time, they start the equipment for the building. So there is a huge delays in the construction of a building. But purchase of machineries, equipment, and furniture for the building is going on well. They purchase machineries, equipment, and furniture before complete the building. Then warranty period will over without using. Then they want to make temporary shelters to protect the goods procured. Because why? Delays in the construction project. Why? Poor contract management. Therefore, in Sri Lanka, the big challenge is what? The big challenge in procurement is time overrun. Time overrun. Time overrun. Time overrun always create the cost overrun. Cost overrun. Then once again, we want to revise the BOQ. once again we want to revisit the estimate. Because of that huge variation, contract variation, then we want to find additional provision for that. Therefore, even though we do the procurement in well manner, if the contract management is poor, you will not achieve the objectives of the procurement. Even in large scale project, getting the foreign fund from the funding agencies, World Bank, ADB, Indian Exim Bank, China Exim Bank, like that. We start the project. Sometimes we want to complete the project within 1 year. Sometimes even feasibility studies part we were not able to complete within the 1 year. Then we want to ask the extension to the project. Even though we do not use the funds, we no need to pay the interest. We want to pay unnecessary loan commitment charges to the funding agency without using their funds. They say that is your failure. You promised to do this project on time. We allocate this money, but you did not get through. But you want to pay this much of money monthly for us. That is known as loan commitment charges, not the interest. Unnecessary commitment charges is very, very disadvantage. Big problem to country. Large scale procurement. Likewise, there are a lot of. So now you can understand. So not only 3 hours, even 3 days, we can talk these issues without single piece of paper. Experience, practical situation in the country. With example, I don't like to highlight the example of the project and the organization. I'm also a member of the Procurement Appeal Board as well. So therefore, I don't like to highlight some cases with you. I have some limitation, but reality is that. So therefore, if we do our procurement in right manner, if we do the procurement, I mean, not only the procurement, contract management, everything. So then very important, then only we can achieve the change the economy. Otherwise, you will see the same situation every day without changes. Change. That is very important. Any question up to now?
Sir, what is the meaning of unsolicited proposals?
Okay, unsolicited proposal means in Sri Lanka, we are using the wrong meaning for unsolicited proposal. Most of the people, most of the officers, they think unsolicited proposal means without calling competitive biddings, giving the project to the contractor after getting the cabinet decision. It's not the unsolicited. It's not the unsolicited. But people think unsolicited means getting the cabinet decision without following the competitive bidding, giving the contract to the particular person. No, that's wrong. Unsolicited means in procurement without any invitation. Without any invitation means, suppose my organization is, say, XYZ, I am attached. So one person came to my office with good proposal. He said, sir, you have a huge bare line. Your organization is located in this Colombo 7. See, this land is very important commercial. I have this kind of proposal. How do you think? I have a good proposal. So we'll share the profit. Or monthly, I will pay this much of money. Just give me that bare land for 10 years for this project. So then he will come with proposal. But we did not think about this project until he come and suggest. So therefore, based on his proposal, we start the new project. That kind of project we known as unsolicited. For example, I can remember one department. One person came to the office. He is asking, this is a real example. He is asking, sir, so I have a good suggestion. So then they said, what is your suggestion? What is your proposal? I would like to undertake to maintain your this office. I know you are in the public sector organization. You don't have enough money. So then there are huge queues. Queues means polling queues. So I can remove these queues. I can introduce the token system for the Department of Postal. So then I can arrange the sofa and seating arrangement. When the customer comes, leisurely they can sit. And we will give a very nice machine system. So when a person wants to register post, send the letters on the register post, they want to press this button. So then he will get the token. So there is a queue, right, for that. If anyone comes to settle the electricity bill and the utility bills, they want to press so 2, then they will go to that line. So it's a token system like that. So then we will color wash the inside of the building also. We look after everything. You no need to pay even single cent. Without single cents, what is your purpose? So I need only display this kind of smart board in your premises. Then 8 hours period, there are a lot of advertisement. I have a lot of clients. They will advertise their advertisement in this board, digital board. I will look after that part also. After 8 hours, if you need, sometimes I can advertise your advertisement also. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It is we did not think such a proposal, but investor came with that. Likewise, without any invitation, with innovative ideas, people will come with proposals, not the bids. That is we known as what? Unsolicited proposal. This is the real meaning. But in Sri Lanka, we are using wrong name for unsolicited. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Any question?
Do the government have guidelines for unsolicited proposals?
Yeah, there was a guideline. Guideline means small circular regarding the unsolicited. Yes, unsolicited and similar system known as what do you call that? Swiss challenge. it's also unsolicited proposal method Swiss challenge. But Swiss challenge is, cancelled. That system is cancelled. This is, not applicable at the moment. But unsolicited proposals are available. There is a procedure. We want to follow the unsolicited bidding procedure. Unsolicited, once again, we want to solicit it.
Okay, so thank you.
So, yeah, there's a process. Anything before we move to the next part? Yeah.
So when we are when we are going to the construction, how do we do it? Like design and build construction. I mean,
So
without
this is
making a
different.
BOQ.
Yeah. So it is not coming. So your question is design and build.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
without making a BOQ, what kind of
problem is at the moment, so I can explain. This is a different subject. I'm very much familiar with these areas, unsolicited proposal and the design and build contract and the EPC turnkey project. But according to the time availability, if I give, if I select that part, so I have a problem how to complete. So in brief, design and build means what? So there are two kind of, just I will take only 5 minutes. So there are two kind of biddings. One is design, bid, and build. That is one method. Design, bid, and build. I don't know whether others are happy with this part. So this is beyond the topic, but because of your question. Other one is design and build. Design, bid, build means design is done by us, bidding part is done by us, building part is done by the contractor. Under what? Design, bid, and build. This is what we say today, our traditional measure and pay contract. Or BOQ එකක් හදලා කරන වැඩ. So this is measure and pay contract. Measure and pay contract methods basically based on the design, bid, and build. Then design and build means design part also done by the contractor, building part also done by the contractor. Our requirement is tell your dream. Spell out your requirement. You say, I need this kind of things. I have a dream like this. So how do you say, address to my issue? So the contractor will do design part as well. At the same time, contractor will do the construction part. When the contractor complete the task, we want to pay whatever the amount we promise. Therefore, this is we known as lump sum contract. I don't know whether you can. This is a, little bit advanced part of the procurement, right? But because of your question. So difference between this and this, here, the employer or any government organization, they will do the design part, plus they will do the bidding part. Only contractor will do the construction part. Here, design part also done by the contractor, even building part also done by the contractor. We are identify our requirement. So therefore, for this kind of bids, we are calling for bids. For this kind of contract, we are calling for proposal. Is it enough? Is it enough?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. Right. So if you need, you can get the small snapshot of this work done today. Right? Right. And now I will discuss small part. Can you see the slide?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now already we discussed about the value for money. It's the key to achieve the economic changes in the country. So value for money is very important in public procurement. Then you want to see, you want to think, how do we achieve the value for money in a procurement system? Even though you do the procurement, you cannot achieve the value for money. To achieve the value for money, you should know how to achieve the value for money in public procurement. It will not come automatically. It will not come freely. So you will get the value for money according to the way of doing. Then you want to understand what are the value for money generating points in the bidding process. Now, getting few minutes, I would like to explain how to get the value for money through public procurement. Otherwise, value for money will not come by itself freely, easily. You want to create the values. You want to generate the values. You want to analyze the value chain in the procurement process. Then you want to generate the value for money. How? Number one is strategic need identification. What do you mean by strategic need identification? Yeah. Can anyone say? Strategic need identification. What do you mean by strategic? What is the meaning of word strategic? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Our objective.
Objectives. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Strategic needs mean
To
You have
achieve
to
the
improve.
mission and vision, what are the items we are preferring?
Exactly, very good. That is also one definition. How do you get the decision of whatever the things when you do, if you do by focusing your mission, vision, and objectives of the organization, then it will become strategic. But today, in other countries, I would like to share my international experience also. I'm doing a lot of program for a number of countries. They are saying strategic, that is the old version of the strategic. Strategic means what? How do you get the decision in a rapidly changing environment, dynamic environment? Therefore, everything being changed very rapidly. Everything in the world, you cannot believe. Sometimes most of the changes are overnight changes. Cannot believe. Cannot believe. Even a small virus can stop the entire sea transport, air transport. Even mosquito can stop the journey that planned by someone else to go to some other planet. Yes, a small thing can do big changes. Even political also, same situation. I don't like to give a good example I have. Even a small thing. So once again became a big. Big became a small. Cannot believe. Cannot believe. Even social media post can do big changes overnight. So beggar can become a Bollywood singer overnight because of the Facebook post. Rana Monda became a Bollywood singer. Yesterday night, she was a beggar. Beggar became a Bollywood singer overnight because of the social media post. Likewise, a small thing can do big changes. Why? Everything being changed very rapidly. Politics being changed very rapidly. We don't know global politics, what will happen. Global politics cannot. Everything is proxy. Proxy war, proxy politics. We can't believe what will happen. Environment. You cannot believe what will happen. Economy. You cannot believe. We did not believe. Maldives become like this. Bangladesh, last year their GDP rate, economic development, they gave a loan for us. Now today, they are having huge debt crisis. Economic, oh my God, cannot believe. Everything being changed very rapidly. Technology, same. In this situation, how do you configure your procurement system? By focusing, how do you start the project? Sometime today, when you are planning to start the coal power plant, sometime, I have good example, sometime after construction, the coal power plant, the other countries will get the decision to ban the coal mining. Then what will happen to your coal power plant? Plant is available, no coal. I have some example I don't like to disclose. International decision, global decision about the environment. Likewise, Sometimes some project we start without seeing the future changes, not easy to understand. But if you see the future very carefully, if you do the study what's going on, rather than getting the ad hoc decision, ad hoc investment, we want to start the project very carefully analyzing. So very important. Then only your procurement system will get success. Therefore, how do you identify the needs strategically? That is very important to have a value for money in public procurement. Before you procure, before you construct the building, before you start any project, think about the future changes, because we are living in a dynamic environment. That is very important. Then only you will get the value for money. Then strategic prioritization. The problem today we have is scarcity. Scarcity of funds. Limited resources. Then if the limited resources are available, so very important, prioritization is the ultimate solution. How do you prioritize? So any procurement that the organization is necessary, any country, any organization, you can see this matrix. Some of the procurements are very important. Very important. Now, for example, in Sri Lanka, energy is very important. Most of the issues because of the energy. Even industries, investors are not happy to invest money in Sri Lanka. Energy cost is very high. That's why they are moving to the Vietnam, Laos. Their energy cost is very low. That is very important. Sometimes it is up to now not too much urgent, but can be urgent. Therefore, you will see different basket in the procurement, different procurement basket, different project basket in the country. Some of the projects, some of the products, some of the service, very important, very urgent. So those are coming under this red box. Then give priority for this procurement. Even private business also same. Very important, very urgent. Cannot postpone today itself. Do or die. Then give priority for this kind of project. In the country, in your organization, in the particular industry, understand what are the burden issues of the country. Then give more priority for them. Some of them are less important, less urgent. Give up. Some of the projects more important but not urgent. Do more feasibility studies, cost analysis, environmental impact assessment, feasibility studies, potential market share, regional stability. Think everything. Take more time for planning. Likewise, then before we do the procurement, do that. That is what we say prioritization. Then strategic sourcing. Different sources are there in your organization also. Some of the things very important. we can make by ourselves. No need to go for buying. Then you want to think what asset we can buy, what asset we can rent out, what asset we want to hire, what asset we want to lease. Then once again come to the lease. What method, operational lease or finance lease. Likewise, we want to see. You no need to go for acquisition. You want to address the problem. What is best sourcing? Hiring or renting or leasing or purchasing, or that is very important. Then what is the best source in the world? Can anyone say? Best source is what?
Outsource.
No. Can any outsourcing is good? Correct. Outsourcing is correct. But other countries now they are talking about what is the best source? Can anyone say? I'm very happy if anyone can tell that solution. What? Yes, give 1 minute. I will give 1 minute.
Sir, some companies are they are doing like for the change management, they are taking some consultancy services.
That is also outsourcing.
Yes.
Best solution is sharing. That's why other countries, they are highly concerned about the sharing culture, sharing economy. So if the Ministry of Education can say to upper class students to use the books, textbooks very carefully. So you want to give these books for the lower class student next year. Please use these carefully. Lower class students can say, so we will not give books. So then you can use the books used by the previous upper class students, give it to them. Then Ministry of Education no need to print the books annually. Therefore, what is necessary? Sharing is very important. Other countries, they are highly concerned about the sharing. Now in Sri Lanka, no. When I look at some universities, they are asking faculty-wise sometimes. Even I am working in different universities. Faculty-wise gym, faculty-wise swimming pool. No, sharing is very important. Sharing culture. It is very important when we purchase a machine. Why we cannot get the network printer? So why we cannot put the printer, easiest accessible place to all. When I was in my organization, in our faculty, we had only one printer in the middle point of the lobby, not the lobby, that area. So we don't have printers for each lecturer. So 8 lecturer faculty members, we use one printer. It is very high speed. It's heavy duty, right? It is what do you call that? Network printer. Sharing. So that's why today trend is focusing the sharing. No ownership. That's why we say big data. You know big data in IT. Open source is sharing. Big data is sharing. Cloud is sharing. Blockchain is sharing. Blockchain is sharing. Open source is sharing. Wikipedia is sharing. No owners. Why? This is my, this is your. We'll use collectively. We will share. Therefore, if you can introduce sharing culture in your organization, we no need to buy lot individual wise. So therefore, today we want to develop sharing economic practices in the organization to minimize the procurement. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have a lot of example, not I take. Therefore, strategic sourcing means make or buy decision, buy or rent decision, rent or lease decision. So we want to think. Sometimes buying is better than the renting. Why you are renting every day? Sometimes maybe large scale sound system. Better to go for hiring. Why you are procuring that, saying we need our own sound system? Outsourcing. Then, very important, performance-based budgeting or outcome-based budgeting. That is very important. We are always now applying input-based budgeting or incremental budgeting. So we ask next year 110 million because this year you have given the 100 million. At least next year we need additional 10 million. So without any logic, you are asking 110. When we ask why you are asking 110, because this year you have given the 100 million. That's why I am asking 110. If you give 75 million, they will say, you have cut my budget. Last year I had 100, this year 75. What you are doing? So each and every person must be able to justify your requirement, why I need this money. Then start from the outcome. Think this year budget is 0. Suppose no data. Then calculate really how much money you need next year. Then you want to apply zero-based budgeting or performance-based budgeting to get the more economic impact to the country through procurement. When you allocate the money, performance-based budgeting, or you can say outcome-based budgeting, or you can say results-based budgeting, or you can say even zero-based budgeting. So very important practices. This is how integrated financial management systems are very important. Then product-based procurement to solution-based procurement. Earlier you talk about the products. Now you want to talk about the solution. I have experience. Earlier we purchased a photocopy machine. Now we purchase the photocopier service. 40% cost can be deducted. No maintenance agreement. No need to worry about the board of survey. No need to think about the other maintenance, repairs, peripheral items. The supplier will look after everything. End of the month, he will come and check how many printouts you got. They will prepare a bill. Sir, this is your bill. There is no headache. There is no initial cost of investment. So therefore, this is how we do product-based procurement. We can apply. Product. So likewise, sharing economy, as I said, sharing economy, very important. Planned procurement rather than ad hoc procurement. Planned procurement. Very important. Then PPP, private-public partnership. If the private sector can do it well, no point of doing by the public sector. It is what other countries are doing. If the private sector is in a position to do this in better than the public sector, allow them to do. What is the responsibility of the public sector? Monitor them, facilitate to them, allow them to do freely. So then you can do the value for money. It's a PPP, is also procurement. Selecting the appropriate method of procurement. NCB, ICB, whatever the methods. So horizontal coordination, it's a very important. Some projects are available. When we start the road sector project, will not give the support by the CEB. RDA cannot do without removing the, RDA cannot construct the building without roads, removing what do you call that, power line. Sometimes water supply and drainage board, they will not give a support to remove the and move the water supply. That is how. That's why in Sri Lanka, always without removing the facilities, we do the development. There is no coordination. So likewise, feasibility studies, very important. Then fit for purpose is very important. Fit for purpose. It's a new principle of World Bank, fit for purpose. When you construct the building, think about your requirement. That is what end user requirement. API. So we no need to construct the highest building in the Asia. Is it necessary to construct such a building? Large house in the village. Largest Christmas tree in the world. No need to put. When you purchase a vehicle, think about your capacity. Fit for purpose. Everything. That is very important. When you purchase a mobile phone, think about the fit for purpose. When you purchase a computer, think about the fit for purpose for everything. Prepare a specification by focusing the end user requirement. Whole life costing. In procurement, don't take the decision based on the initial cost. Think about the other related cost. Some of the other related costs are future cost. Think about the future cost for the present decision. Therefore, when we evaluate the bids, procurements, do we apply the whole life costing approach? Other countries, they are applying the practice. That practice they known as total cost of ownership, TCO, total cost of ownership. This is what we say whole life costing. Those are very lengthy topic. So normally whole life costing, I take 3 hours with example. So this is also relating to that. So avoid from over quality. Quality is good. We want to avoid from over quality. We want to avoid from under quality. So therefore, we want to understand what is the profit zone. The quality is good, but quality should be matched with our requirement. So therefore, best quality products we no need to purchase. Desired quality is the very important thing. So likewise, avoid from asset underutilization. So likewise, there are a lot of practices we want to apply in public procurement to improve create the values in the system. without creating the values to the society, you cannot get the economic benefits in the procurement system. So therefore, today what I want to do to discuss something about economic dimension of the public procurements. So even though you do the procurement, you will not get the return to the country. So how do you think, how do you do that procurement? Based on the way of doing, you will achieve the results. You will see the changes. So therefore, that is very important. Then only we will get the value for money. Then you will get the economic benefits of the country. Then you will see the meaningful procurement. So this is what I want to share with you. Any question? You have another 5 minutes. Today I'm very tired continuously. Number of days I came from Gold after finishing the program at 4 o'clock. So once again start my throat also a little bit out of sound. Okay, anyway. Any question? So I'll use only few PowerPoints. How do you think about my way of presentation? The way is good, or is it necessary to change highly based on the PowerPoint, or like this, rather than moving from, moving from discussion mode?
No, sir, this is good because otherwise what would happen, your both senses will be divided and then it will not work properly. So when you explain on the paper, you listen and then assimilate it properly. So that's good. But however, sharing slides, what you have prepared also will be important later.
So definitely, I will share.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much. Good night, everyone.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.